There are all styles of helmets. This is a fairly standard one. It's got little vents here that you can open to let air flow through. You hear the exit vents on the back of the helmet, so you get a little circulation in your head. These fit very tightly. I always tell people, if you want to try it on, you're welcome to, but a lot of people have. I don't know what you might get. But if you want to try them on, this is a small. They even have them where they'll fit a little pipe in here, probably where this little plug is. Never thought about that. Where they run a little tube in there so they can get fluid down in a little pocket they have inside their car. Now you see these little silver contraptions on the side back here? Okay, what happens in a race car? If you remember, Scott Brayton was killed in 1996 at the Speedway. Came off the first turn, car went out to the outside wall, hit it pretty flush with the right side of the car, and took forever. We were standing, I remember I was with Bob Jenkins, we were standing around there, he was still on the network at that time, he hadn't gone to the big networks, and I couldn't figure out, what, he's either really badly hurt or something's crazy, because, it was like 3 hours, we never heard anything. And like on a radio network, we're not doctors. We never give any, Sid always used to say, if you see a head rolling down the track in a helmet, you do not say they're dead, because that's what the Speedway does. You just say it looks like it's a serious condition. That sounds funny, but we're not doctors. That was an over-exaggeration, of course, but it's the truth. So we would only say it looks like he's unconscious, he appears to be unconscious or something like that. But we weren't hearing anything from anybody. Well, the long and short of it was, his dad was at the track. His mother was out, they were from Coldwater, Michigan. His mother was out shopping. They couldn't find her.
Oh boy.
They couldn't find her. The kid's dead and they can't find the mom. See, the last thing they want to do is have anybody in the family hear it on the radio before they're told. And I really respect them for that. So medical people at the track, long after that, a couple of years later, they said he didn't suffer at all, because what happens is when you have your head and you have this helmet. See, this is fairly heavy. I'll pass this around. But see, don't let it hurt it. Drop it on the floor. But it's, you want to try to hold this? It's not real heavy, but it's not too bad, is it?
No.
Okay. But what happens when you put that on top of your head, all of a sudden you're like a bowling ball. And if your body, you're under a five-point strap in the car, because between your legs, around your waist, even for the girls, between your legs, around your waist, and over your shoulders, and buckles right here in front. And it's got a pop release. If you need, you can hit it really hard and it'll release for you. But the problem is when you hit something like the wall, and this was before Tony George had invented the safer walls. Every racetrack in America that's of any consequence now has safer walls that Tony George helped develop with the University of Nebraska. But what happens is there's nothing to keep your head in place, and it's heavy, particularly with a helmet on. And so it wants to move. Well, what happened with Scott, they said he didn't suffer a bit. Simply what happened, he said, is just like pulling the plug out of the wall. The centrifugal force just separated his skull from his spine, his brain from his spine, just like pulling the plug. So he didn't suffer at all. So they came up with ideas to correct that, and this is one of them. It's called a Hans device. Now they've even come up with an extension that goes on the back of here. It makes it a little higher. And you'll see them when they get out of their car before they take the helmet off. You'll still see that on them. This is kind of a small one. They make them in all sizes for all size people. I can get it on, but it's really a little bit tight. I didn't want a bigger one to carry. I carry this stuff around, so this was fine size. But on that helmet, where I showed you the silver things on the side, that's where these things hook onto the helmet. And this, of course, the straps that hold you in the car go down over this, and this then keeps your head in place if you hit the wall. So does that make sense? Okay, let's talk about finishes on cars. One of the things Sid always talked to us about when we were talking, we had to paint a picture in the mind of the listener. It's called Imagineering, because there was no TV. And we wanted, your picture in your mind might be a little different than this person. Well, you always said, I want you to talk about, don't just say yellow. If it's a lemon yellow, say lemon yellow. If it's candy apple red, don't just say red, say it's candy apple red. or sky blue, or whatever it is. Help them paint a color picture in their mind as to what's going on out here under the rainy Indiana sky. Aren't those colors beautiful? No. But anyway, that was part of it. And they were always so well painted, and their helmets are so beautifully painted, which they still are, the helmets. But technology again. This, Andretti's don't know I have this. This is off of Tony Kanaan's car. Remember when he was with them? He was driving the 7-Eleven car. That's where you get your Slurpees. Okay. Now then. This is a 3M product. We've all heard about them. Sticky Fingers 3M. This is the backside. You peel that off. You put it on the car. Now bear with me. I got to find the corner here I can feel. Where did it go? Maybe I rolled it up backwards. I did. On this side, you peel this off and you have your new paint job. You see that? It's green.
Wow.
So I'm not saying there aren't cars that are still painted, but the vast majority of them are done with the stick-on stuff now. And it's really funny when you see one that's crashed, because it'll be broken up in pieces, and it'll have pieces of this hanging off the side of the broken pieces, you know.